Welcome to episode 1 of Rip and Flip series here, where I'm going to buy used bikes, see if they rip, and then see if I can flip them for money. I had some success recently flipping bikes. I bought a road bike a few weeks ago for just 50 bucks. Rear brake didn't work, replaced the pads for 12 bucks, got it dialed, and then the one of the chain rings was so bent that it rubbed, like the derailleur was rubbing no matter what gear you were in. So I went to Bike Collective, I paid 16 bucks, got some SPD pedals, and got new cranks with chain rings on there that didn't rub, got it shifting perfectly, flipped the bike for 200 bucks. So I took that money, I paid 60 bucks for this K2 bike that I've got on the rack of my car right now. Don't know what year it was, but it's at least older than a 2005, since that's when K2 stopped making bikes. I did have to do some service to it already. When I got it, the tires were flat and there were no valve stems on the tubes, so I threw some new tubes in it, and it had SPD pedals. I ride flats on a mountain bike, so I went to Walmart and paid 15 bucks for some cheap flat pedals. Threw those on there. What else did I do? Oh, the shifters didn't work at all when I got it, so I thought I was gonna have to put new shifters on it, but when I went to Bike Collective, they showed me how to clean them out essentially. So I sprayed a bunch of chain degreaser into the shifters and just kept clicking them until they actually started clicking and engaging. I poured some lube in there, closed them up, and now it's shifting perfectly. So yeah, we're gonna head to the trails now. We're gonna give it a rip, and then once we make sure everything's dialed, I'll throw it online and see if I can make some money flipping it. This thing feels so silly. It feels tiny. I'm used to my reach being way longer. I'm used to the front end being farther out. I'm used to the handlebars being wider. Yeah, I'm getting pretty nervous for the downhill actually. The short bars and the steep head angle. This thing is so twitchy. Curious to see if it'll be fun or if it'll be scary. That's how we used to do droppers, I guess. Can't really drop it much since I don't want it to hit the shock. But we'll get a low for the descent. All right, dropping into Rush. It's one of my favorite trails. It's a blue flow trail. Pretty dang high speed, but we're gonna take it real easy today. Biggest things I'm worried about are gonna be the brakes, because these are just they're disc brakes, but they're mechanical. So I doubt they're gonna have the same stopping power as my big 4-piston hydraulic brakes I'm used to. The other thing is the drivetrain. You can already hear it clicking around. The drivetrain did way better than I expected on the uphill. I didn't drop a chain or lose a gear or anything, but there's no clutch and there's no narrow wide chain rings. So pretty concerned about losing my chain on here. Whew. This feels fun. Oh, these tires are not good. A little drifty there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like the short chain stays are sketching me out. It just feels like every time the bike's too small for me, really. Probably wouldn't be sketchy otherwise. Feels like I'm gonna loop out on all these little rollers, trying to keep my weight over the front, which is scary because the bars are so short and the head angle so steep. It's just mad twitchy. Oh, that's a big bump. The brakes require more pull, but they've got all the strength I need. Just one finger too. Pretty impressed by the brakes. Yeah, I think the first mod I would do would be wider bars. It feels so sketchy to have these narrow ones. I'm not used to that. Probably better tires too. Set it up tubeless. I feel like the front end's a little squirrely, but I'm also at 40 PSI because I'm scared of getting it flat in these tubes, so Tires might be fine if I was willing to run them at lower PSI. Oh, it's on rails. Yeah, my hands are getting very pumped. I think not just because the suspension's not great, but better brakes. I mean, even though the brakes are strong enough, you have to grip them pretty hard. So my hands are getting tired, but dude, overall, I'm riding this so much faster than I expected. Oh, a deer. Hey, Bambi. What's up, mama? Not going for the big jump. Not on this bike.
Riding the old K2 was a lot of fun, and I was pretty impressed by it. You can definitely have a lot of fun on a cheap old bike. The short wheelbase and steep head tube angle made it a lot of fun in the corners and on jumps. The mechanical disc brakes worked flawlessly, and while the drivetrain was super loud, it didn't give me any trouble. The older geometry and suspension made for a pretty scary ride through any sort of rough terrain, but still definitely a capable tool to explore with. Once I got home, I gave the bike a good wash and then took a bunch of pics. I listed it for sale at $250 and had to keep lowering the price before I got much interest, but after about 3 weeks, it sold for $130. Pretty fun way to make 50 bucks.